Hey, good afternoon. So we just wrapped up a Board of Supervisors meeting, so I wanted to run through some of the key decisions and conversations that we had. We started out the meeting with a number of proclamations. There was a couple that the District 3 office was involved in. One was the proclamation of today as Ironwood Forest Day. Celebrating the 25th anniversary of the formation and approval of Ironwood Forest National Monument. This is the second time that Ironwood Forest has come up. You might remember that last meeting we had a resolution condemning and urging the protection of Ironwood Forest National Monument. It is a monument that is on the list of conservation areas that the federal government wants to both shrink and open up for mineral extraction and resource development. So we celebrated its anniversary. There is actually a rally this Saturday that we are encouraging people to attend. We tried to make it a surprise, but cat got out of the bag. Today it was also the proclamation celebrating Jobs with Justice Day. Community member Steve Valencia helped start Jobs with Justice here in Tucson 35 years ago. And for that length in time, it has been predominantly a volunteer organization that has stood up for working families, for family-sustaining wages, workers' rights, and ensuring that workers have the safety and the respect and dignity that they deserve. So I was proud to be able to honor Jobs with Justice today and their incredible work that they do in our community. We also approved the purchase of the historic Wells Fargo Bank building, which is in downtown Tucson. It's right across the street from the downtown library. This building, we authorized purchasing it for $6.2 million. This will become the site of the new downtown library, and it is literally just across the street. The dilemma was that the current downtown library has about $80 million of kind of renovations and work that is needed, deferred maintenance that needs to get it up to par. But it's also just kind of an awkward space that hasn't really been working for the library's functions. So we've been looking into a new building that would be ours. We currently lease the downtown building that the library is in. So this would be a building that we would own. So we approve the purchase of it. We estimate that it'll take about $24 million to get it up into ready to go for opening the new doors over the span of the next 2 years. And that between that $6 million and the $24 million is less than what it would take to get the work done in its existing building. So we're excited about this opportunity and some of the way that the space can create some new options for the library to continue to serve our community. We passed, and this is kind of maybe the biggest news of the day, we passed two things related to affordable housing. I've talked about this from other meetings. This is the third time we've discussed generating revenue that could do a long-term investment for affordable housing in our community. So we did two things today. So one is that we approved a $3.5 million addition to our annual $5 million contribution towards affordable housing. So it puts us at $8.5 million for the current year, for the upcoming year, I should say, to invest in affordable housing. We also approved a start for the year after next 10-year plan that would generate $250 million for affordable housing. That could be done through increasing property tax, or if there is other ways to generate the revenue or find the revenue, do that in lieu of increasing the property tax. I have been arguing from day one, that this is simply what we need to do, because the cost of not investing significantly in affordable housing is just simply too great. The cost of it is borne out in our courts that are bogged down with eviction cases, law enforcement, social services, mental health, schools, employers. There are so many ways in which housing insecurity and instability affects our community that, in fact, this investment is the cheaper way of providing housing stability, is the cheaper option for our community. So this is huge news, and this is a big step forward. We're going to be leaning on and looking to the advice and the expertise of the Regional Affordable Housing Commission to be able to develop some recommendations. There is a new, so we'll be looking for their recommendations of how best to utilize these funds. But big progress, and very thankful for Supervisor Hines in getting this ball rolling and driving this forward. We also got approval today, unanimous vote, which is what was required, to donate a surplus vehicle to the Arivaca Fire Department. Our board previously had supported the development of a wildfire mitigation plan, right? Wildfire and fire it is a huge issue in southern Arizona in our desert. Unfortunately, fire districts are not all created equal. They derive their resources from property taxes, so wealthier communities with higher property values have well-funded fire departments. Smaller rural and lower income communities have poorly funded fire districts. So we have been trying to support the Arivaca Fire District through finding vehicles that could be donated. A water truck, in this case we're donating a heavy truck that can help support the fire department. So we were excited to be able to get that across the line and identify this vehicle, and we are continuing to look for a fire truck. So if you happen to have one that you want to throw in, Arivaca Fire Department is looking for it. We approved a plan that was put forward by the health department to target the schools that have low vaccination rates, and it's a plan to try to combat the outbreak of measles, mumps, and rubella, but particularly measles that is spreading from Texas and New Mexico, and trying to ensure that it does not make its way into Arizona and Pima County. So our health department put together a plan to get out to some of the schools that have low vaccination rates and low rates of people who have requested exemptions from vaccination. So I'm excited and both very supportive of our health department's aggressive work to try to ensure that we are vaccinated. Schools need to be at the 95% vaccinated rate to sort of get that herd immunity. So there is a push to try to protect our public health. If you are not yet vaccinated, if your children need 2 shots of the MMR vaccine in the 6 to 15 month area, and then again in kind of the kindergarten age. So if you're not yet vaccinated, you can go to any Walgreens, CVS, the health department's clinics, your doctor, but please get vaccinated. We approved, we accepted and kind of approved the acceptance of some important grants that provide services to our community. So we approved a grant to Compass Affordable Housing for the EELS program that is working with the providing rehousing assistance for residents of the Craycroft. We also approved a contract to the Direct Center for Independence, which will be providing emergency home repair for folks. We also approved a contract to the Community Home Repair Organization, providing home repair for 125 homes. We approved a grant that has been awarded to the Department of Environmental Quality for Pima County's voluntary lawn and garden equipment emissions reduction program. So this is switching out from some of the more sort of gas fume emitting lawn and garden equipment, and encouraging and incentivizing people to stop using and convert to electric and less pollutant heavy lawn and garden equipment. We had a resolution that the District 3 office introduced, was approved today. reiterating the county's opposition to the increased militarization along the U.S.-Mexico border. This was in response to the federal government's transfer from the Department of Interior to the Department of Defense land along the U.S.-Mexico border and turning that land into military bases. As you know, the Arizona border with Mexico contains both the Buenos Aires Wildlife Refuge, Oregon Pipe National Monument, Cabeza Prieta Wildlife Refuge, is home to the Totonaco Nation, which was bisected by the border, and more than 2,000 Totonaco members live on the Mexican side of the border. So our region has been heavily impacted by border policies that get imposed on us. And so in this particular case, we are calling on our members of our congressional delegation to speak up, to ensure that the Roosevelt Reservation's model of turning the border into a military base does not happen here, as it has already happened in New Mexico and the El Paso border area. We also discussed today the following up with the Attorney General, to call on the Attorney General to reopen and dig into the investigation of a sexual assault case within the Pima County Sheriff's Department, to ensure that there was no wrongdoing by some of the department leaders, as has been alleged by the victim of sexual assault, who was a sheriff's deputy. So we look forward to reaching out to the AG and making sure that the investigation at the state level is thorough and comprehensive. Well, there were many other things, but that's about it that we're going to run through today. We got out a little bit early, and they say you should feel free to go back and watch the full YouTube if you so desire. And also, you're always welcome to come down and attend the meeting in person, speak at the call to the audience. You can view the agenda in advance. You can submit written comments as well if coming down in person is simply not an option. All right, well, thank you so much.